Hello, hello, it's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you live from Whitefish. Still working on that. Whitefish, Montana. We're just going to roll with it. All right, today is Thursday, therefore it is Thunderstruck Thursday, and we are still going along with our Scraptember. And that is not scraps as in scrapbooking, that is scraps as in paper scraps. What are we going to do with all the paper scraps that we collect over the period of time that you are working on different cards and scrapbook pages and everything else? So there are tons of ways to use scraps. I this month have just been showing you a few ways that you can use them. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about designer series paper and how you can use that with some basic sentiment stamps or simple pictures, things that maybe don't have punches or don't have dies that go with it. So today, as you know, hi Missy, today as you know is the stamp sale, and it's running until 11:59 p.m. tonight, and when it's done, it's done. And so it is stamps and stamp tools, so things like the chamois, the brayer, and if you're not sure what a brayer is, this is a brayer. You haven't seen me use it a whole lot. I use it for a variety of things, but it's not something I use regularly. And then there are the clear blocks, which you have seen me use those time and time again. Our clear blocks, they're ergonomic, so they're nice and thick and easy to use. They've got this nice little groove. These are 15% off. I myself am getting a few more of those. So then we have, so sometimes though, you have to keep in mind, sometimes some stamps have a punch or dies, and then those are 10% off normally all the time. And you have to run the numbers to see if it makes sense to buy a stamp set without the dies or without the punch. I know that Missy here, who's on with us right now, she ran the numbers yesterday for the Squirrel Bundle, which is a stamp set and punch, and it was $1 cheaper to buy the bundle. So you do want to do a little bit of math just to make sure you're getting your best deal today. So I pulled out some stamp sets that don't have punches or dies with them that I thought might interest you for using or for purchasing through this stamp sale. So let's go over those. So we have the Layered Thoughts, and the Layered Thoughts is what we're using this month in Card Club. So I'm going to go ahead and show you those cards because it's too late for you to sign up for them anyways. And they use scrap papers. Granted, for these cards, I had to cut this down, but they would be scraps if I had already been using them. So here, whoops, here is one. So we often have strips of paper left over. This is one way that you can use it. And then we have the happy birthday in the center, which is right here. You can see it's a good large size stamp set, large words, not itty bitty ones. They're large words. All right. And then we have this card, and we often have the strips that we can cut into squares. This pinwheel, those are just squares that we are putting together to create that pinwheel. Here is the thinking, and you can see here, see, it's just a square like that, and I did the of you. So you can use your paper and cut down your scraps into squares and use the squares. That's one of the other techniques we're going to do today, is paper with squares. And this one again has strips. So we have the strips. These are the dies that are from the add-on, the Q3 paper pumpkin add-on dies. That's what these are, and so I've made that. I did 3 strips of paper, and then I kept this blank to go ahead and stamp on. So these are just some ways to use some of the scraps of papers that you have accumulated over the course of making cards or scrapbook pages. Another one is with this, and then we tore off the ends here, and then the strips are actually put up on dimensionals. So they're not glued down, so it adds some little extra, and then you can add some little goodies to it, you know, some die cuts, and then you can have your stamp and gems, and then your linen thread or whatever. So you can do it where it's either flat on the paper, or you can pop it all up with dimensionals. Did I pop this one up? Oh, I did. I popped these up on dimensionals as well. All right, so popping up the strips of paper, your scraps, just gives them a whole new look. So this is one of the stamp sets. It doesn't have any dies or punches with it. It's only $20, but it's 15% off right now. Sweet deal. Here's another one along these lines. So these are shapes, and they're just made out of all these different lines. Aren't those cool? That was one of our freebies at On Stage. I haven't used it yet, but if it works in today's, I might use it because it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And then we have the Simply Said, which is just sentiments. Okay, just a bunch of sentiments. All occasion kind of sentiments. Birthday, thanks, birthday, thinking of you, let's celebrate, yay, thank you, miss you, hello, just a note, which is this one, and these two actually these three I probably use the most. So a nice simple one, Simply Said. Here's another one. It goes with the scrapbook, the Peaceful Garden scrapbooking kit, but you don't have to use it just for scrapbooking, or you can use it for scrapbooking, and it's 15% off of your $20. So how sweet is that? Family and friends, a day to remember. Then you have best of friends, vacation vibes, this happened, what a day, holiday memories. You have an arrow, you have a little tab here. So perfect thing that you can use for either card making or scrapbooking. And then the Silly Safari, it's 44 because it does come with a punch, but you can use any punch. So if you got this, you don't have to use a punch for it. It's just a circle punch that it comes with. So you can just use this. This one's so, I love this one. Those animals are so adorable. Happy birthday, you party animal, Akuna Matata. Woohoo, it's your birthday. Thank you, big time. It's your day. Way go wild. Super proud of you. Welcome, baby. And then it's got some leaves and some patterns. And then it's got our 5 little animals. There's no dies, so you're going to have to fussy cut it. You can see I haven't even put them all down. All right. So another good set, because you don't have to have the circle punch that goes with it. You can use any circle punch that you have, or you can just fussy cut them out. So super cute set. So those are just a few of the sets. I didn't want to bring a ton out. Those are a few sets that would work to where if you're thinking, oh, but I wanted the bundle, then don't worry about getting the bundle right now. Get the bundle later when you can. And right now, get the stamp sets that don't have those things. All right, so I'm going to pull in this Perennial Lavender, which I have not used this paper in a long time, but it is still current. It is in our catalog. So I'm going to pull out some of the scraps that I have left over from this, from using it. We used it last year for Card Club, so you can see I have lots of scraps because I keep my scraps in with my paper. Which on the one hand is really good, and on the other hand, it's like, oh, when I need some quick colors or something, just making sure I got them all out. So those are all my scraps. It turns out I have a few dies in here, so we'll just move those over there and see what we have for scraps. All right, I'm going to move those over. So I've got these scraps, and then this. And I've got this one. You can see I covered a flap for an envelope. I have these. All right, so I've got lots of different scraps, more dies. Obviously, I had leftover dies from a project. And you can see that I used the postage stamp dies, which were part of this suite when it first came out. So these are larger pieces, so I don't want to use those because those are larger pieces that I can use for something else. So I like to just look and see, what do I have? All right, so this is the same. So these are the same, so I'm going to turn that over to see what's on that side. This I don't have. Oh, here's 2. So then I have this side and this side. Then we have this side and this side. And then this, I just have the long strips. And so I've already used long strips for a card for you. So I don't want to do that. These are, again, this one might work. Here we go. This one's a little skinnier. And let's see. Oh, that one's a better one. So we're going to go, oh, this has the nice shape on it. So we'll see. I'm going to move some of these over out of my way. And then we're going to get the trimmer, because instead of tearing them, I am going to cut them, and I'd like to cut them into 1-inch squares. All right, I'm going to save this one because I might want to use that for something, but I'm going to cut these into 1-inch squares. This is already 1 inch, so I'm going to cut like this, and then I can use both sides of the paper, remember, so I can flip it over. I can use both sides of the paper. I won't need this one because that's going to be plenty of those two patterns. All right, so I'm just cutting 1-inch squares. It's already 1 inch long. And then, oh, we'll go 2 of those, 2 of each of these patterns. And then let's see, that is also 1 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it 1 inch. And 1 inch gives me this. This is for throwing away. All right, then I have another one of these. I'm going to turn it over. It is also 1 inch. So I'm going to cut it like this. And then again at 1 inch. Again, this scrap is just too small to worry about it. It's going, so I've got this. All right, what I need is a 1 inch strip off of here. So I'm going to cut, let's see, how wide is this? This is 2 inches. So I'm actually going to cut it at 1 inch. Save that. And then cut this one at 1 inch also, which will cut it in half because it was 2 inches. So this is giving me some variety. This is not 2 inches, so I'm going to cut a 1 inch strip. That moved. Let's try that again. There we go. Sometimes when you're using this, you got to go really slow because it can move the paper. So I want to trim that off. It's about time to clean the trimmer. All right, so I'm going to do 1 inch and 1 inch. Oops, I forgot to turn those over. So I'm going to be like that. So I have all of these. And then I have here a Highland Heather card base, because that is one of the colors in it. All right, and then I'm just going to kind of mosaic these together is what we're looking at. So just going to mosaic them together like that, and just kind of put the dark and the light colors together, or apart, I should say, not together. We'll go like this. We'll find out whether I cut enough. Oh, let's add some lighter ones here. And probably because there's so much room on this side, we're going to want to move these over and maybe put a little more space between them. All right, so you can either put them all close together. Here we go. Let's try this again. Or you can have them a little more separated. All right, another way to kind of hide this would be to put a piece of ribbon here, or you could use a strip of paper as well. I think we're going to move these back over. I really don't like them that far apart and that separated. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, here we go. And then we're going to do this like that. Put that one there and this one here. And apparently I don't have enough to really cover it all in. So you can make more and put it together. So let's go ahead and bring that over here. Let's go ahead and get a few more squares because we don't have enough. All right. We don't have enough squares, so we're going to flip one of those over. And then we had here, we could do another square right there. All right, and then we could do, I kind of like that one, so I'm going to trim this up to straighten it out. And then I'm going to cut off 1 inch strip. This one's less than an inch, so we're going to toss that. And then, is that 1 inch? Ah, it moved. There we go. I thought that was a little bit big. Then we're going to cut that. Cut some more of those. We'll flip it over because we want the purple. All right. Okay. So we had one. Here we go. Oh, that's a different. Kind of like that. I'm going to trim this off so that it is 1/2 inch. And we're going to use that on our side. I think we're going to use this part of it, so that means I need to move this. We're going to use this one. Ooh, is it perfect? It's almost perfect. Like that. And then we're going to build from there. That's what we'll do. All right, so I've changed my mind. Most of you that have been with me. So this is such pretty paper, perfect for ephemera sentiments. Yes, you could also use ephemera sentiments as well, for sure. All right, so then we're going to do this one over here. We're going to do this one. Trying to decide how close to shove it to whether we, well, you know what? We can use the sentiment. I'm going to use the sentiment there then. I'm going to do this. Put this one here. I think instead of this one, we're going to use, here we go, this one. All right. So there we have. So we have some extras here. Let's see what kind of sentiment I have that would fit in there. I think the happy birthday will fit beautifully in there. We're going to put it on another piece of paper. We're going to put it on, I think, do we want to go with a crumb cake? No, I think we're going to go with a white. We're going to go with a white strip right in there. And we're going to do happy birthday. We're going to grab one of our blocks. We're going to do happy birthday in gorgeous grape, so it's nice and dark. All right. Like that. And that is from the Simply Said. All right. And then we're going to pop all of these up on dimensionals. All right, so I'm just going to flip them over. I'm just going to put one dimensional on each. Now remember, you can also, don't want to blow too hard to get that off of there. You want to make sure to have your same edge. All right, so you're kind of lined up. go. Like that. We're going to go ahead and put this one on dimensionals as well. You're going to use more than one on this one, of course, because it's a lot longer. All right, and so we're going to pop all these scrap papers up on dimensional, and people aren't going to know that you're using your scraps, right? They're going to just think that you planned it that way. All right, so I like to turn my card this way when dealing with longer pieces. There we go. All right, and again, we're going to flip these over. Just going to flip them all over. There we go. And put dimensionals on them. All right, so popping up these scrap pieces of paper makes the cards look, you know, a little, I don't know, different. Not everything is glued down and flat. All right, so I'm going to start here at the bottom row. Like that. All right, and then the next row. And yes, this lavender paper, perennial lavender paper, it's just gorgeous paper. All right, here we go. Then we'll pop these off. Oh, here we go. All right. All right, so look at that. So we've got those like that. This one looks a little bit longer. Is it not? Hang on, let me check it. One. Oh, it is a little bit longer. All right, that's okay. This one. So you can kind of twist them off. All right, and then we're going to put our happy birthday right there. So I line it up. I'm just going to use my thumb, and then I'm going to grab my scissors. Let's see where my mark is, and cut. Then we're going to pop this up on dimensionals as well. And then everything is popped up on dimensionals. You could use some twine here. You can use some lost my word, die cuts. I've got these die cuts. Let's see how they look. All right. Happy birthday. So we have here some die cuts that we could use. This one seems a little long. Coming out of there. All right, and then this one. So get this. We can do that. Just kind of weave them together. I like to do that when you have ones like this that are a little on the skinny side. Why is that not going in there? Here we go. All right. So we can weave these together, and we can dab a little bit of glue on the back of them when your pins don't stick. All right, here we go. And then when you have to use your pins, you pull them apart. All right, here we go. Come on. All right. There we go. Let's try this again. We're just going to do a few dots of glue. Oh, oh. That all of a sudden came running out. Don't you just hate when it does that to you? All right. That's the little thing that was blocking it. Good thing this stuff dries clear, right? All right, so we're gonna stick that under there and bring those up like that. This one needs some glue back there. All right. Let's see. Get my glue off the finger before it causes a problem. All right, and so there you have a nice little birthday card, and it's all popped up. All right, and it's all from scraps or leftover things that you had in your paper bag. How awesome is that? And then I have more. I can make more cards because I can cut more strips. So using the little squares, you can do something like this. Or if you know how to do a pinwheel, you can do a pinwheel. And maybe that's something I'll teach next week. I have this class coming up on Friday, so I'll be teaching the card club how to do a pinwheel. All right, but it's a great way to use up your scraps. All right, so thank you, Missy. All right, so thank you for joining me, Missy, live. And for those of you that catch the replay, let me know what you think. What are you going to do with your squares? Are you going to line them up? Are you going to fill up the whole card or just fill up part of the card? You don't have to fill the whole thing like I did. You could fill part of it and then put a statement in one of the corners. You could make your squares larger so that they cover more space, and then you don't have to have this little strip right here. So there's all different ways that you can do it. I would love it if you would post below in the comments your pictures of the cards you make using squares from your scraps. All right, so take care. Thank you very much. Remember, we have this until 11:59 Mountain Time tonight. 15% off your stamps and your stamp tools, your chamois, your grid paper, your brayer, your blocks. If you don't have enough blocks and you find yourself constantly having to pull the stamps off, clean them, pull the stamps off, put new ones on, now might be a great time for you to buy a few more blocks. That's what I'm going to do because I always seem to run out of them. All right. Also remember that I have Ghouls Night Out here at the house on the 17th of October. If you're interested, let me know. You have until the 4th of October. Also, World Card Making Day on the 4th of October, virtual and in person. Let me know what you're interested in. And I think that's it for now. So thank you so much for joining me. I will see you back here. Today is Thursday, so I will see you back here actually tomorrow for Paper Pumpkin Play Date. And I just got my new Paper Pumpkin. So now I'm trying to decide whether to do an alternate, because that's what I would have done on Monday, or whether to just dive into the new Paper Pumpkin with that autumn stuff. I'm feeling kind of autumnish. Is that a word? Autumnish? I'm feeling autumnish. Autumnish. Yeah. All right, so we have Paper Pumpkin tomorrow at 2:30, it looks like. 2:30. Because I have Card Club in the morning and Card Club in the evening, so we'll put it in there in the middle of it. So I will see you back here tomorrow for Paper Pumpkin Playdate at 2:30 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your Thursday. Thank you so much for joining me, Missy. See y'all later. Bye-bye.